Hey, what's going on, everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. One of the topics that I wanted to talk about in this video is why are cryptocurrency prices falling lower. I'm going to talk about some news pieces that relate to that as well in just a second. And over the past 24 hours, cryptos did move lower again. A lot of cryptos down anywhere from 2 to 5%. Unfortunately, Ethereum and Litecoin failed to hold above their key support levels, and that could lead to more downside at this point. Bitcoin still right on top of its support level, but that attempt that we got yesterday, for the most part, did not hold very well. I'll be covering everything in more detail during the technical analysis side of things, where we're going to talk about where cryptos will be heading next, the upcoming support levels if we start moving lower. But don't forget to follow me on Twitter for live cryptocurrency market updates. Been very active on there, giving a lot of valuable information. So definitely check that out. Link to that at the top of the description of this video. And let's get started with why cryptocurrency prices are falling lower. So one explanation for this is that there is a suspected manipulation of Bitcoin futures. So Bitcoin futures have actually sunk 55% this year and reached their lowest levels since February. Now, there's been a lot of speculation that futures and Bitcoin futures specifically lead to price manipulation, which I think is definitely a possibility and has a certain amount of truth to it. I think that that's not the only reason why cryptocurrencies are dropping. It has also to do with, the general market cycle and the fact that we had so much hype and interest from the general population back in December. So when we got that initial drop after the Bitcoin Cash listing, and everybody started getting scared, especially newbie investors who don't really know the game, that created a lot of this drop, right? And I think you can't really discredit that. Now, the Bitcoin futures, while it's definitely something to be aware of, I always like to refer back to the charts no matter what and see what's going on there. But something that's interesting relating to the Bitcoin futures is that Fundstrat's Thomas Lee said that the weakness in Bitcoin is caused by futures expiration. And if we look into a little bit more detail about that, what he said is that Bitcoin sees dramatic price changes around CBOE futures expirations, and that they compiled the data, and that seems to be true. So Bitcoin usually sees a drop around 18% in 10 days before a futures expiration, with prices generally recovering 6 days afterwards. So that's pretty interesting, especially in the short term, and I think that's something to definitely be aware of. But like I said, that's not the only reason why cryptocurrency prices are dropping, in my opinion. And I'd be interested to hear why you think cryptos have been taking a hit recently. Let me know in the comments down below. And let's get started with the technical analysis. First up is Bitcoin. Now, like I said, Bitcoin is, right now on the Coinbase chart, actually, we're dropping slightly below our support level at $6,500. So at this point, seeing how a lot of cryptocurrencies are doing that, we had that attempt yesterday of getting back above our support level. That failed for most cryptocurrencies out there. We're now moving lower again, and I think that we're not going to be able to avoid the drop down to probably $5,000 at this point, and we could even see that drop down to $4,500 to get a test of our longer term uptrend line, which would actually kind of be a good thing at this point and really clear things up. So actually, one thing that's interesting, if I go ahead and extend this downtrend line, I'll change the color of our uptrend line, you'll see that we have a symmetrical triangle that's starting to form. And this is a much longer term one, which is more valuable, in fact. So it looks like we will indeed be dropping lower based on the formation. And the end of the formation, which is usually reached, is at around 4,800 Satoshis. So we'll probably see some up and down price action, but over the next few weeks, that's where we should be heading next. Let's take a look at Ethereum, see what's going on. So going over towards the Coinbase chart, we're going to see what's happening. And Ethereum also dropped below its critical support level, back below $500. We did get some support at $450, so we could see some stabilization there again. However, the next big stop, I think, is going to be at $361, especially if we see Bitcoin starting to move lower, close to $5,000. I don't think Ethereum will be able to avoid the drop here in any way. Let's take a look at Litecoin now, see what's going on. So going over the Litecoin chart, we are back below $100. Never really managed to get much above that anyways, and pretty much a complete rejection of that level. So not much support here, unfortunately, which is a little bit concerning. Our next big support level is going to be all the way down at, let's see, at $70. And after that, we do have support at around $45. So we have a couple support levels afterwards, but the next stop here, now that we're back below $100, should be around $70. So that's what I'm expecting to be up next. Let's take a look now at our next cryptocurrency, which is going to be Nano. Nano is still in this range between 40,000 and 45,000 Satoshis. Don't see this stopping anytime soon. If anything, if cryptos continue to fall lower, we'll drop back below 40,000 Satoshis. Depending on which level we break above or below, that's where we're going to be heading next based on this consolidation formation that we're seeing on the Nano chart right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ripple, see what's going on. Going over the Bittrex chart, we can see that Ripple is actually holding up relatively decently right now. We are still above 50 cents, however, we are moving lower from there. We'll have to see if we get some kind of balance again at 50 cents, but if Bitcoin starts moving close to $5,000, I think that we will be going below 50 cents and heading down towards 30 cents. That could be a pretty harsh drop for Ripple there if that ends up happening. Let's take a look at our next crypto, which is going to be EOS. EOS is still holding up pretty well. Its blockchain officially launched, which is good. And, we got a lot of support around 15,000 Satoshis. A lot of resistance, though, at the middle band. And I think that we will probably have to come and test this breakout area here, or even this lower one back here, closer to $9,300. So depending on what happens over the next few weeks, we really could be in play here for a test of this longer-term uptrend line. But in the short term, I think a drop down to 13,000 Satoshis first is definitely possible here. Let's go ahead, take a look at NEO, see what's going on. I'm going to go over to the Bittrex chart here once again. And NEO is actually consolidating a bit at around $38 below its $43 support level. We have some base put in here previously, so that explains why we're not seeing a huge drop right away. However, we could start to see a trickle down lower in this range. All the way up until $20 would be our next big support level. So I do think we'll end up trickling down lower. The question is how much and how much time. But over the next few weeks, I would expect this to start moving lower unless we're able to get back above $43. Let's take a look at Stellar Lumens and see what's going on. So going over the Binance chart, we can see that Stellar Lumens is actually holding up pretty well in its range right here. It's been one of the stronger cryptocurrencies. And in fact, what's interesting is our symmetrical triangle formation is actually higher than we're currently at now. So we do have a lot of support layers here as far as the upward movement is concerned. And the main thing I'd say is this uptrend line here. That's really going to be what's key as far as preventing us from dropping lower, at least for now. And we want to try to stay above that as long as we can. Let's go ahead, take a look at our next cryptocurrency, which is going to be Lisk. We're going to see what's going on. So Lisk is currently getting back towards its $6.24 support level. As soon as we break below that, we're going to be heading towards $4 next. So definitely a pretty high possibility of that happening at this point. Let's go ahead, take a look at Cardano now, see what's going on. So Cardano is, let me go over to the Bittrex chart where I have my previous lines drawn out. Cardano is right on top of its $2,500 support level. We got an attempt at a bounce yesterday. As soon as we drop back below the support level, we're going to be heading down to 2,000 Satoshis next. So, we can hope for a last minute bounce here, but seeing how a lot of cryptocurrencies are getting ready to move lower again, I think that Cardano won't be able to avoid that. And really over the next few weeks, I think that we have to test this breakout area again closer to 1,254 Satoshis, unfortunately, unless we're able to really get some good consolidation and base put in above 2,000 Satoshis. Let's take a look at our last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update. That's going to be IOTA. And IOTA is just flattening out between $1.13 and $1.47, which is actually pretty good compared to a lot of cryptocurrencies out there. I still think that we could be getting ready for a move towards $1, and we really would need to get a bounce there because as soon as we drop below $1, there's not much support until 60 cents, and after that it's going to be all the way down to 33 cents. So we really want to try to stay above $1. there's not much we can do. If Bitcoin is going to start tanking again, it's going to be hard for IOTA to avoid a drop itself. With that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.